Into all of this, I welcome in NewsNation media contributor and founding editor of Mediaite, Colby Hall. Colby, thank you for your time. So what is going on here? What is behind this restraint from at least 3 news outlets not to reveal any of the details about what they received, especially when we compare it to the 2016 presidential campaign?
Right. At face value, it seems like sort of an apparent double standard that the media would report on hacked information they received in 2016 that hurt Hillary Clinton and are now not doing the same to Trump. And yeah, of course, another layer of irony here is that Trump loves to lash out at the fake news media, but Politico, the Washington Post, New York Times, they're all really doing Trump a solid here. There's a difference here, and that is that we've got a lot smarter. You know, in 2016, hacked material wasn't really that sort of a common thing. And that came from WikiLeaks, right? WikiLeaks, we didn't really know what it was. We didn't really know that it was such a clearinghouse for hacked material, nor did we know that the information from the DNC server came as a result of a hacking operation from Russian intel. So, you know, it was wrong for in 2016 for press to cover that so extensively. And, Roger Stone, a Trump advisor, was sort of chief behind that. But 2 wrongs don't make a right. And here we are 8 years later. The media, they made a mistake then. They're not going to make the same mistake now. And it's unfortunate perhaps for the Harris campaign, but, you got to have standards to abide by.
So, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So, in your opinion, are the news organizations making the right decision by choosing not to publish these details?
I think they are. I also think that now that the information wants to be free, so that now that this information is with, a select few people and powerful people at those 3 outlets, it wouldn't shock me to see some of this stuff eventually leak out, as is usually the case. But I respect that the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Politico, typically left-leaning outlets, they're doing the right thing. Their principled stance is ahead of their partisan one, if in fact they have a partisan one. So I think they should get some credibility or credit from the Trump campaign, Trump himself, for not sharing what could be potentially embarrassing information about J.D. Vance.
So this current leak, Colby, as you know, is from a person identified only as Robert. Do you think we'll ever know who this Robert is and why and how he was able to access information which, the Trump campaign is linking to Iran? And where is the Trump campaign getting that information?
I'm going to bet his name is not Robert, and that's just a pseudonym used to sort of describe him. We don't know if it's directly related to this, but Microsoft, as we see right here, they revealed that there was a hacking effort on their Outlook, some of their software, and that came out right about the same time that this happened, and Microsoft said it was Iran. So I think sort of, where there's smoke, there's fire. So I assume that we'll learn more, that it's an Iranian operation. And what I would say is that I'm not sure that it's clear that they were trying to hurt Trump, because apparently they also tried to hack Harris. A lot of these entities, they really want to sow discord and and discontent, and by getting information that's out there. So it's not clear what their agenda was, but I do think that not learning about it yet is probably the wise and prudent approach.
And I do agree with you. I also assume his name probably is not really Robert. Last question for you, Cole, because you talk about sowing this chaos, sowing this discord. Are we going to see more of this as the election cycle moves forward?
Well, I can't predict the future, but I think if there's one thing that we can be certain on is there will be more discord and discontent sowed by both candidates and sort of bad actors in the international stage, whether it's China, Russia, Iran. This is a brain-driven world, and our cybersecurity isn't up to pace with a lot of these hacking efforts. So I assume, especially come around October, we'll see some surprises that will, the goal will be to change the path of the election. Will they succeed? Tune in. We'll see.
Yeah, time will tell. All right, Colby Hall, thank you.
Thank you, Nichole.
Up next, Uber-style service. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.